Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be the second ride back on Milo since his injury. So I did ride him on Wednesday this week, which is 2 days ago for me. Today is Friday, and for that ride I didn't film it just because I really wanted to just focus on me and himself and make sure that he was okay without having to think, oh, didn't the camera pick that up? Is the camera tracking us okay? And all of that fun stuff that comes with vlogging. So I thought I would just film the second ride because I now know that he's going to be okay. He's he's a very good boy. He's not, you know, tonking off with me or bucking with me or doing anything stupid. Plus, I thought it would be good to film some of his pole work. Yes! Just because when I tried lunging him over poles, he was very, very excited. So I'm going full body armour today, back protector and helmet, in the hopes that he's not going to be an idiot. So hopefully he'll be okay. He has just had some of his lick, so he could be a bit on the sugar high now. I didn't really think that through, did I? No. Yeah, what I'll do first though is I will show you guys what his leg looks like now. So this is where the kick was. That's his the little nick that he's got, and you can see he has still got obviously a bump. He's probably gonna have that for the rest of his life. Just a nasty, nasty bone bruise, but he's happy with me touching it, which is the main thing. But I am actually quite happy with how the boy has came out of box rest. It's hard to see because I can't really get far enough back in the stable to capture his butt, but his bum is a lot rounder, which I'm really happy with. Hello. He's like, don't talk about my bum. Yeah, well, he's just having his little lick. So yeah, he's lost muscle. We do need to build it back up again, but I think we'll get there. At least he's back in work now, aren't you? Even if we're just trotting for this week. And then hopefully we'll still be able to go out to some events this year and give it a go. And he'll look a lot nicer as well, because it's a blessing and a curse really, because blessing will be he gets rid of this awful winter coat. But the curse is obviously we start a bit later in the season than I had intended to. But it's okay, that's horses. Something I've been doing with Milo before our first and our second ride was I just walked him around the arena just to get him used to it again. He had been lunged in both the indoor and outdoor arena, but obviously it's different to having a sort of a safety blanket next to you than it is when that safety blanket is behind you and you can't really see them. So I thought it would be best just to walk him around, get him used to it again. If there's something that's going to spook him, at least it's going to spook him on the ground, and then I can get on safely. So we just start off nice and relaxed, trying to get him to bring his head right down between his legs, just to make sure that he's lifting his back up slightly, there's no tension, he knows that we're not going to be expecting too much from him, we just want him to be nice and chilled. So we're doing this on both reins, just to make sure he's stepping evenly, as it is his left leg that was injured. So after a couple of laps on the long rein, I then start asking for a bit more of a connection. So before we had the injury, we were beginning to get the connection. I felt that trot we had it about 60% there. In walk it was maybe about 40%. Now we've gone right back. It's now about 20% in walk, if that. Trot is more like sort of 50-60%. Once I finally remembered that I do actually need to move my arms and walk, he did start dropping his head slightly, which
I mean, Nair was quite lovely, but it's so fleeting, and sometimes he does this really ugly leaning thing, which you'll see at the end of this clip. So I am contemplating getting somebody out to try and help me find the right bit for him, because I don't know if he quite likes the French link how I think he should be accepting a bit. Again, please no hate. Everybody says walk is the hardest pace. That is 100% the truth for me and Milo. I cannot get walk whatsoever. But it's a work in progress, so we're going to try and improve. So here I just try and remind him of how to stop without me pulling on the reins and just using my seat. So you can see again, he kind of braces, he opens his mouth a bit there. I really need to get somebody out to just try and figure out the bitting situation, because he's clearly not comfortable in it. Here again, I decided let's just see how straight he is with the halting. So I just take him down the centre line at C, stick my bum in the saddle. And he's slightly wonky, but he's not as bad as I thought he was going to be. So a big pat for the good boy. And then trot, you can see he does hold the contact a lot better, and he does drop his nose down slightly. So I do think it is mainly a problem with the walk, but you can see even after his injury, he's still stepping out quite nicely. He kind of remembers what he needs to do and where his head needs to be. If I'm honest, I was riding with the handbrake on slightly. Towards the end of the session, I do start pushing him on a little bit more for that bigger trot. And this is our first little 20-meter circle back. So if I'm quite honest, seeing this circle compared to when we did our intro test earlier on in the year, yes, okay, it's a bit more scrabbly and the position isn't that good, but I think we look stronger altogether. It's a bit weird. It's a weird one to describe. Here on the second 20-meter circle, you can see that the handbrake's coming off slightly, and he does step out so nicely. I just need to remember that I need to keep his head down and keep him moving forward, because when it comes together, it looks beautiful. I just need to get my head together and get some coordination back in my body, because it's majorly lacking at the moment. Looking back on this ride now, it doesn't actually look as bad as it felt, which I think is often the case. My instructor, she actually said that some of her best dressage tests were when she felt it went absolutely rubbish, and some of her worst ones were when she felt it actually went really well. So it's definitely useful for me to at least see this and see all the little things that I'm doing, all the little things that he's doing, and actually give us a bit more credit than I did in the video you'll see in a minute when I just sort of recap it on the day. But yeah, I thought for his first time going back over poles and watching it back, he actually didn't do too bad. He got a little bit tense and he rushed it where he was a bit like, oh, I don't know where my feet need to go. But at the end of the day, he was a good boy. He did everything I asked. He stopped. He was polite. He really didn't put a foot wrong.
That wasn't some of our best riding. Our first ride back definitely went better, but you know, I'm back on him, which is all that matters, really, isn't it? Yeah, but it's still very green, lots to work on, lots for him to remember, lots for me to remember, but we'll get there. So the aim now is after the 13th of May, which is when our Camembert clinic is, we will have a dressage lesson with our really lovely dressage instructor who is just so good at explaining everything and making things make sense. So we'll have a lesson with her. just to sort of get things back on track with our flat work. But before the cross country lesson, because we need to obviously, we need to jump a bit more, we're just going to focus on getting the canter up, getting the jump up again, only sort of up to 70 centimetres, which I think will be fine. We'll try and make things scary, put fillers in and things, make them a bit rustic, just so that he's sort of as prepared for when we go back out as possible. But yeah, so I'm just gonna chuck him back out with his friends, because he's Mr. Impatient at the moment, aren't you? Eh? So yeah, I will see you guys later, and hopefully next week we will be back out hacking and doing some counter work, which will be really fun, because he's probably looking forward to it more than I am. But yeah, so I will see you guys later. Bye!